Hi there, I'm Alva from OnceHub, and I'm here to give you a 15-minute walkthrough of FormOnce. If you're looking for a shorter video, we also have a 5-minute explainer to help you get started. You can access our Help Center and 24/7 live chat support from within the application at any time, and you'll find lead acceleration ideas and inspiration on our blog. In this video, I'll show you how to build smart forms to capture, qualify, and engage with leads in minutes, not days. I'll cover 3 areas today: how to build a quick form from a template, how to build a qualification form from scratch, and lastly, I'll walk through some more advanced lead acceleration features to really help out your sales and marketing team members. There are multiple ways to share or publish your forms. Standalone forms can be built within OnceHub and simply shared as a link. Pop-up forms can be added to your website to open from a call to action, such as a button or a link. Or you can embed a form within a page of your website or landing pages. Let's move over to the live demo to get started. If you'd like to preview templates before you start, you'll find them on the FormOnce page of our website under Templates. We have them divided by industry and they're interactive, so they're a great way to get a feel for what FormOnce can do. To get started, log into OnceHub, click Setup, and select FormOnce. From here, we'll click Create Form, and here you'll see all of your template options. We're going to choose a qualified scheduled meeting template, so we'll click Select, and we'll give it a name. Let's call it Demo Meeting. And click Create. Here you can see the form builder with each of the interactions in the flow, and on the right-hand side, you'll see the interactions pane. This contains all of the questions and actions that you'll need to build a smart form. But because we're creating one from a template here, all of the interactions we need are already added. So in this scenario, it's asking people for their email address, it's qualifying based on company size, and then for those qualified visitors, they're going to get an option to schedule a meeting. So for this hypothetical situation, let's say we're a software company and we create software for large customer support teams. So we want to qualify based on company size or team size to make sure that our agent's time is best used speaking with organizations who fit the criteria that our software best suits. So this screening question here, how many staff members would need to use the platform, is perfect. But let's say the team sizes we're going after are a little bigger than that. We simply click on the interaction, scroll down on the interactions pane, and we can simply edit the options here. So let's change it to less than 10. So 1050. 50 to 100. And 100 plus. And we'll click Save. If we have a quick look in the routing tab here, we'll be able to see that rules are set up to make sure that different team size selections route to different responses in the form. And this is the key to screening questions or routing, but we'll go into this in a little more detail in our next example. For now, I'm going to come down to our scheduling action. You can see the scheduling action is already added in the template, but we still need to add the details. So we need to add an event type, what kind of meeting it's going to be, and a booking owner. So who are these meetings going to be assigned to? For this example, we're simply going to select a 30-minute meeting. And for our booking owner, let's say we want all of these meetings to go to our lead salesperson, Sally Sales. We'll just search her by name, select it, and we'll click Save. So that's all we'd needed to edit to get started with this form, but let's preview it and see how it works. So the form will say, first, let us know your email address. So let's say visitor@oncehub.com. Next, I'm going to choose less than 10, as this wouldn't qualify us for a scheduled meeting with the organization. So just so you can see how that works. So it's going to tell us, thank you, a member of our team will contact you by email. Have a great day. So that's the path for visitors who aren't qualified. We'll restart and we'll choose a bigger team size this time. So let's choose 100 plus. And it's going to ask more details now so that a sales agent would be really well prepared when it does come to meeting with the visitor. So let's say lead engagement speed as our business problem. And they're letting us know they'd like to schedule with someone from our team. We'll click continue and you can see the scheduling options here. I'll choose 9 a.m. and we can confirm the meeting details. And we can see our meeting is confirmed. So that's how simple it is to get started with building smart forms with a template by simply editing a couple of details within the form. But let's say the templates don't fit your needs exactly and you want to build a form from scratch. Let's cover that for our next option. For this next scenario, let's say we're a financial advice firm and we want to qualify leads based on their income. But we also want to ask them where they'd like to meet, in our Dallas office, or to choose to meet remotely via a video call. We'll click back here to come back to the forms lobby, and we're going to click Create Form. But instead of choosing a template this time, we're going to choose Start from Scratch, and we'll give it a name. We'll call it FA Contact, and hit Create. Let's start off with a nice simple question for our visitors by asking for their name. We'll simply come to the interactions pane and pull over a text question. And we'll give it a label. We'll say name. And for the question text that the visitor will see, we'll say, what is your name? And click Save. We'll click back on this interaction to come back to our interaction options. And the next question we're going to ask is going to be our first qualifying question. So we'll choose single select, which is a single select option for the visitor. They get to choose one response. We'll title it income, our internal label, and say, what is your income? Now we're going to scroll down and give them some answer options. So let's say less than 50,000. 50 to 100,000, and maybe 100,000 plus. And we'll click Save. We're going to add another single select question for the visitor to choose location, as they'll only get to choose to meet in one. So we'll drag and drop that into the builder too. We'll call it location for the label. And we'll ask them where they'd like to meet. So we're going to give the option for Dallas to meet in person. We'll say Texas for extra clarity, or a video meeting. And we'll click Save. Now, some visitors aren't going to qualify, but we might want to reach back out to them or find out a bit more about them. So we're going to add an email question for those visitors who don't qualify. So we're pulling over the email question here. We'll call it email. And we'll just say, what is your email address? We're only going to ask this question of leads who didn't qualify because our qualified leads will have to add their email by default when they're scheduling a meeting anyway. So that's why this will just be for unqualified leads. And then we're going to add our schedule action from the Actions tab for the visitors who do qualify. Actually, we're going to add two scheduling actions. So because we're offering two different meeting locations, we're going to set up a schedule action for each location. So let's drag in the first one and set this up for the Dallas meeting. The title schedule a time is perfect. We're going to select an event type. So we'll say 30-minute meeting. But for the booking owner, this time we're going to select to assign the meetings to a team. So this lets you distribute meetings between different members of a team. So we're going to select our Dallas team here and click Save. And we'll come and drag another schedule action over for our video meeting. So let's say video meeting. We'll make this a 30-minute meeting as well, but for our booking owner, we're going to select our video call team. So it'll distribute the meetings between all the members of that team. And we'll click Save. And lastly, we're going to add an end action or end chat for our unqualified leads. So we typically add one for visitors who've qualified and scheduled a meeting as well. But just to save time for this example, we'll end the path for the scheduled visitors in this one at the scheduling action. So we'll call it end message. And we're going to say, thanks for your interest. A member of our team will be in touch. And we'll click Save. Great. So we have all of the questions that we need in our form already. By default, each question will route to the next question in sequence or the next action in the sequence. But as we saw briefly in our template example, you can set up more complex routing for each interaction. So let's come to the first question that would need some routing, the income or qualifying question. We'll click on this so you can edit the interaction, and we'll come to the routing tab. So as you can see, it automatically would be routing to the next interaction in order. You can choose to always route to a specific interaction, wherever in the builder it might be, or you can route to interactions based on rules. So this is the one that is the key to screening questions and conditional logic and all of the magic you want to add to your forms. That's going to save you heaps of time and benefit your visitors' experience. And we're going to add rules based on the different incomes. So we're going to add a condition here. Click Add Condition and say, if this answer is, let's say neither of these options are going to automatically qualify. We'll say if this answer is any of, so that we can select multiple options. We'll say less than 50,000 or 50 to 100,000. Then route to, and we're going to ask them for their email address. So we just type to filter those other interactions that we already have in the form and select email. So if this answer is any of less than 50,000 or 50 to 100,000, the visitor's next step that they would see is requesting their email address. Then we're going to come to otherwise. So we only have one other option that a visitor could possibly select here, which is 100,000. So we'll say otherwise route to, and we'll choose location. So that means if a visitor selects 100,000 for their income, they'll be routed to choose their meeting location. So we'll click Save. And that's the key to our qualifying step. But we'll come to the location option here. So you don't have to use the rules for qualification only. You can also use it for routing for things like location. So we'll click routing here. And again, we'll choose to route to interactions based on rules. And this time we'll say, if this answer is Dallas, Texas, then route to, and we want to route to the Dallas meeting, scheduling action. We'll click otherwise, route to our video meeting. So it's nice and simple. So the way we have it set up there, if a visitor selects Dallas, Texas, they'll be routed to the Dallas meeting action. If they select the video meeting, they'll be selected to the video meeting action. And that's already saved. So if we scroll down to the next step of the form for our unqualified visitors, they'd be asked their email address. We've already set up the routing for that. By default, that's going to go to the end message. So that's all of the routing that we need to set up in this brief example. But let's preview it and see how it works. So what is your name? type Alva, click next. I'll choose an unqualified option first here, so I'll say 50 to 100,000. And as you can see, it's asking for my email address. And it's giving me that end message that a member of the team will be in touch. So that's perfect. I'll click restart and go through as a qualified visitor. Choose 100,000 plus for my income. And I'm going to say I want to meet by video. So you can set up your video meetings as well so that all of the conferencing links are automatically created. You'll have calendar events created for you that your visitors can be added to with the links for Zoom, Google Meet, and heaps more options there to make it really easy for visitors to join remotely and for your team to join them remotely too and remember them. We'll say visitor OnceHub.com and click next. The visitor will then be able to select a time and a day that they'd like to meet at and confirm it. So the meeting is confirmed, and we could go on to more questions then if we wanted to ask more follow-up questions to help our agents be prepared for the call, or we could just send them to an end message like we did for the unqualified visitors in that form. So that's everything we're going to look at in that example here before moving on to our third section now. So advanced lead acceleration features. So there are 3 actions here that I want to mention as really valuable for lead acceleration. The first one is the email alert action. So this is like an invisible step that you can add to your builder for internal use rather than it being something that a visitor sees or interacts with. So you could drag and drop that email alert anywhere in the builder to alert other users in your OnceHub account about information that's been collected or meetings that have been scheduled. So you might want to add it like when an email address has been collected so that your marketing team could add the visitor to a mailing list. Or for a manager trying to keep track of meetings, you might want to add it underneath one of the schedule actions so they can keep tabs on how many meetings are being booked with their team. The next one is the contact status action. So another invisible step, visitors don't see it, but this would automatically qualify your leads with different types of statuses. So you can automatically update a lead status to qualified, marketing qualified, sales qualified, or disqualified. So that can be really useful. And anywhere you see contact information in the account, or if you're sending that information out elsewhere, you'd have that detail then saved to that lead. And the last one is sync contact to CRM. So if you use a CRM such as Salesforce and you've integrated that with your OnceHub account, you'd be able to pull in the sync contact action as another invisible step and make sure that stream of data is flowing nicely between OnceHub and your CRM. So that will really help out your sales team members rather than them having to manually update all of that data. That's everything we're going to cover in the video today. If you'd like more information or videos or to go back and look at those templates, you can visit oncehub.com/FormOnce. But don't forget, you always have the help menu in the top right of the application when you're logged in as well. So you can access our 24/7 live chat support from there if you have other questions. And you'll also find our knowledge base there if you want to go and browse articles for more detail on any of this. We hope you've enjoyed the video and that it's been valuable to you, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching.